Hi students, I'm Sonia from Vidya Guru, starting a new session on current affairs. This session is for the month of May 2021. I'm going to start a session, but this session is in English medium, complete English medium. If you're not comfortable with the session in English medium, you have the option of switching on to the Hindi medium session. That is also there in the playlist. This session is going to be completely in English medium. There is a reason for it, because we record a separate session for our students from South India, for our students from Northeast India, like students from Telangana, Kerala. I'm referring to Tamil Nadu, those states. The students, those who live there, they are unable to understand Hindi well. That is why we record a separate session for them. If you understand everything, please press the like button for sure. Share the video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel. Press the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. If you press the bell icon, then only you'll receive notifications of all the exam relevant videos which Vidya Guru uploads. I'll start the session from here on, but I wish to tell you, let's say if you spend around 30-35 minutes with me, you'll be able to learn at least 50 to 60 new points in every video. I put in a lot of effort, so I expect a like from you. I'll start the video from here on. The first question is about Miss Universe. So Miss Universe 2020, that means 69th edition of Miss Universe 2020 took place in Hollywood. Hollywood is the name of a place. Hollywood is in Florida. Florida, I'm referring to USA. I'll actually talk about the name of the winner. The venue is important, and if any Indian could make it to some runner-up level, even up to the runner-up level, that question even becomes important for you. So I was saying 69th numbers Miss Universe contest. Andrea Meza, she actually won the title of Miss Universe. She became the Miss Universe. Andrea Meza, she is from Mexico. The Indian runner-up. Her name is even more difficult for you guys to learn it, but her name is important. She remained the third runner-up there. Even that is very difficult, because the contestants from many nations take part in such sort of competitions. So I was saying Adeline Castellino of India, she remained the third runner-up. That means she was the fourth number girl, because one became Miss Universe and there were three runner-ups, and she was the third runner-up and the fourth girl in the Miss Universe contest. I'll start with the next question. The next question is about Cyclone Tauktae. Some people are actually calling it Tauktae also, but Cyclone Tauktae, for me, I am pronouncing it that way only. The pronunciation does not matter that much. Tauktae came in Arabian Sea. Now, if you actually wish to differentiate, one part is Arabian Sea. I'm referring to our country, our nation. One part is Arabian Sea. The other part has Bay of Bengal. Which part has Bay of Bengal? Which part has Arabian Sea? That even confuses students. So I am just going to tell you like this, that Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, you may have been to Goa many times. If you have, you must be aware that that part is Arabian Sea. Obviously, the opposite part is Bay of Bengal. So I am saying Arabian Sea. When I am talking about Arabian Sea, Tauktae actually came in Arabian Sea. Tauktae made landfall. It touched the land. It reached the land in Gujarat. Cyclone Tauktae got its name from Myanmar. See, when I talk about Tauktae and you have acquired information about it, that much is not enough. Because if a word is given, if the name is given, that name came from somewhere, even that name has some meaning, even these questions have some value. So please read the meaning of the name also. I'm saying Tauktae got its name from the country Myanmar first. The second thing is Tauktae means, it is basically a kind of lizard. Gecko. Tauktae means gecko. Gecko is the name of a highly vocal lizard. So read the name Gecko, and Tauktae got its name from Myanmar. Everything is super important. The next question is Cyclone Yas. Cyclone Yas actually got its name from Oman. Even Yas has some meaning, but it is about to come. Cyclone Yas will actually come, will touch the coast line of West Bengal, will reach Odisha also. So read it like that. Cyclone Yas from Bay of Bengal to hit coastal regions of West Bengal and Odisha. Bay of Bengal. That means I'm actually referring to the opposite side. Earlier I was talking about Arabian Sea. Here I have started talking about Bay of Bengal. I wish to tell you something, like out of these two, if somebody asks you which part, forms more cyclones, Bay of Bengal is the part that region forms more cyclones. There's a reason for it. The reason for it is that the temperature of Bay of Bengal is propitious, is more favorable to form cyclones in Bay of Bengal. That is why more cyclones are actually faced by us in that region of Bay of Bengal. I was saying this Yas in Bay of Bengal, first question, will hit coastal areas of West Bengal and Odisha, second question. Yas got its name from Oman, third question. Yas has the meaning despair or disappointment. Yes, Yas means despair or disappointment. So these four questions, super relevant. Let's move ahead. New Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma. He is from BJP. Himanta Biswa Sarma is from BJP. He has become the new Chief Minister of Assam. When I move ahead, I'll actually talk about the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin. He is from DMK. DMK, Dravid Munnetra Kazhagam is the name of the party he belongs to. See, as I've said, BJP, everybody knows the full form. We need not, tell anyone actually what the full form of BJP is. I was talking about DMK. The full form can be asked, and I'm saying the Chief Minister is M.K. Stalin of Tamil Nadu. He is from a party that is DMK. And what is DMK? Dravid Munnetra Kazhagam is the full form of the party. Let's move ahead. Now, new Chief Minister of Puducherry. Puducherry's new Chief Minister N. Rangasamy. N. Rangasamy, from All India NR Congress. The name of the party can also be asked. So I am saying All India NR Congress, N. Rangasamy's party. He has become the new Chief Minister of Puducherry. Now when I move ahead, I'll actually talk about the reappointment of Kerala's Chief Minister, reappointment of West Bengal's Chief Minister. Although she's going to actually be the Chief Minister for the third time, I'll talk about the Kerala's Chief Minister first. So reappointment of Pinarayi Vijayan. Pinarayi Vijayan, he is from CPIM. CPIM is the name of Pinarayi Vijayan's party. He became the Chief Minister of Kerala again. West Bengal's Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, third time Chief Minister of West Bengal, She is from Trinamool Congress, All India Trinamool Congress. That's the name of her party. Now, when I actually talk about the governor, you must be amazed. You must be thinking that why I am not referring to other states' governors. The reason is that this fellow remains in news. His name is Jagdeep Dhankar. Jagdeep Dhankar is the Governor of West Bengal. He remains in news. That is why I feel that his name can be there, can be asked. So, learn his name too. Let's move ahead. International Day of Families is observed on 15th May. International Day of Families is observed on 15th May. There was a theme for it related with families only. So, the theme was families and technologies, new technologies. Families and new technologies was the theme for International Day of Families. The next question is about World Telecommunication and Info Society Day. World Telecommunication and Information Society Day is observed on 17th May and World Hypertension Day is also observed on 17th May. I found the theme of Telecommunication and Information Society Day important, and that theme was accelerating, increasing, speeding it up, accelerating digital transformation in challenging times. Accelerating digital transformation in challenging times. That was the theme for Telecommunication and Information Society Day. Let's move ahead. World Red Cross Day or World Red Crescent Day. Red Crescent Day, Islamic nations actually call it Red Crescent and we call it Red Cross. So, World Red Cross either or Red Crescent Day, they mean the same actually. Observed on 8th May. We all know that the theme was important. I found it important. Somewhere you find it as Unstoppable, just unstoppable is the theme. But somewhere it is written as together we are unstoppable. Together we are unstoppable. So I have written both. World Thalassemia Day. Thalassemia is a disease too. So World Thalassemia Day is also observed on the World Crescent Day only, that is 8th May. Let's move ahead. There are a number of important days here. I'm teaching you right now. Learn all of them. When I actually talk about National Anti-Terrorism Day, this is basically the day when 21st May was the date when Rajiv Gandhi died. So Rajiv Gandhi's death anniversary, you can say, is observed as Anti-Terrorism Day. So National Anti-Terrorism Day is observed on 21st May, keeping Rajiv Gandhi's death anniversary in mind. International Day for Biological Diversity is observed on 22nd May. International Day for Biological Diversity is observed on 22nd May. The theme was we are part of the solution. We are part of the solution. That was the theme kept for International Day for Biological Diversity. National Technology Day is observed on 11th May. Please read that carefully. I said National Technology Day is observed on 11th May. I can actually make you learn this as well. How? I'll actually tell you that on 11th May 1998, there was a nuclear test. Nuclear test was performed, nuclear test took place on 11th May 1998. And I was saying at Pokhran. Pokhran is in Rajasthan. Now I think you'll be able to relate it. Was this remained successful? And the name of the operation was Shakti. I'm going to repeat everything. 11th May 1998 was the date when the test, nuclear test, took place at Pokhran, Rajasthan. Remained successful. The name of the operation was Shakti, and I am just saying that we are actually commemorating that thing, that event. That is why we celebrate 11th May as National Technology Day. The theme kept was Science and Technology for a Sustainable Future, which is very, very pertinent also. Let's move ahead. Author of Whereabouts. See, Jhumpa Lahiri is very famous. We all know about her. She is that talented that she writes a book in one language and she translates it. She herself translates it to the other language also. So Jhumpa Lahiri, a very famous writer. She has written Whereabouts. That means the name of the book, Whereabouts. It is written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Learn that. The other book by Ruskin Bond is All-Time Favorites for Children. All-Time Favorites for Children, written by Ruskin Bond. Well, let's move ahead. Laureus World Sportsman of the Year. L'Oreal World Sportswoman of the Year. So, sportsman, Rafael Nadal. He is from Spain. Sportswoman, Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year, Naomi Osaka, and she's from Japan. We have heard these names very, very often. So I need not remind you all the time. You can learn it easily. I know that. Rafael Nadal, Sportsman of the Year. Naomi Osaka from Japan, Sportswoman of the Year. Let's move ahead. World Food Prize 2021 winner, Dr. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted. When I actually name her, I know you will start relating her with India. Obviously, some relevance has to be there, some relation has to be there. So I am saying, but she took birth. She was born in Trinidad and Tobago. She has the citizenship of Denmark also. That is why I have written both the names here. So that, let's say, if they ask you one or the other name, you'll be able to answer it easily. Trinidad and Tobago and Denmark, where Dr. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted took birth, and she got World Food Prize. She has received World Food Prize of the 2021. 2021's Whitley Award. Whitley Award, they are actually famous as Green Oscars basically. If the word green appears in front of you, you can relate it with environment, I think. So Green Oscars, Whitley Award. Who was the recipient? The recipient was Nuklufom. Nuklufom is from Nagaland. What was the contribution shown by him? Amur falcons. Amur falcons, they are actually sort of birds. He helped in conserving them. For conserving Amur falcons, for creating biodiversity peace corridor, or you can say national network of community owned forest. So network of community owned forest, or you can call it biodiversity peace corridor. Such things, such contributions were actually given by Nucleoform from Nagaland. That is why he received Whitley Award. Let's move ahead. Standard domestic travel insurance product. When the word standard appears in front of you, understand the meaning that all the, like let's say general insurers or maybe health insurers are supposed to provide such a thing. That means standard domestic travel insurance is going to be provided by general insurers or maybe health insurers. I am saying if they get to provide such a thing, standard means all of them will have same sort of conditions which are written on your screen right now. All of them will have absolutely the same structure here because it is standard product. It is a standard product and it was actually launched by, that means IRDAI, that insurance regulatory body, that has suggested that all of them are supposed to have such a thing. What is that? Standard domestic travel insurance product. The name of it is Bharat Yatra Suraksha. So Bharat Yatra Suraksha will be had by general insurers or health insurers. I am saying it is to be started from 1st July onwards. This year only they all will be having it. Bharat Yatra Suraksha product will be had by them. Hospitalization due to accident. What does it mean? If hospitalization takes place and hospitalization because of an accident, if this happens, the minimum cover will be 1 lakh. Maximum cover will be 10 lakh. If death happens, so death cover is also there. Minimum 1 lakh is the death cover. Maximum death cover is 1 crore. So these are the conditions that issued by IRDAI. Let's move ahead. Rupees 100 crore contribution from IOC, ONGC and other oil PSUs for redevelopment of. Please don't actually think it that they are going to contribute to make a hospital or something. They are not participating in the building of hospitals. They are doing something else. They are actually participating in the redevelopment of Badrinath Dham. Badrinath Dham is in Uttarakhand. It is obviously a spiritual place, a holy place. The redevelopment will take place, as we have heard the name many times. Smart cities will be built. So it is going to be a smart hill town. What sort of smart hill town? As it is a spiritual place, so it is going to be a spiritual smart hill town. What I am referring to, Badrinath Dham in Uttarakhand will be redeveloped under what? I am saying it will be redeveloped as spiritual smart hill town. 100 crores will be contributed by these oil PSUs like IOC, Indian Oil Corporation or ONGC or other PSUs. Let's move ahead. First tranche of RBI's GSAP 1.0. 1.0 referring to the first edition. I'm saying tranche. Tranche means portion. Like portion of money specifically. Like if you have to pay 100 rupees, you'll be paying 10 rupees, 20 rupees. There you'll be paying 30 rupees later on. So portions. So first tranche of RBI's GSAP. What is GSAP? GSAP, that means I'm referring to G means government. SAP, Government Securities Acquisition Program. Government Security Acquisition Program. Understand that RBI is acquiring. RBI is acquiring something from government. What is that? RBI is acquiring government securities. So Government Security Acquisition Program. So RBI is buying government securities and paying money to the government for the same. So first tranche, first portion of RBI's GSAP 1.0, that is going to be 25,000 crores was done in April, and in May they will be paying the second tranche. That is why we are studying it in May. So second tranche of RBI's GSAP 1.0 is 35,000 crore. That means government is going to receive this much. What was government GSAP? I told you that is Government Security Acquisition Program. Let's move ahead. See, all the questions are important. Read them carefully, because I even feel that if you prepare yourself for current affairs, you can actually understand that how important these questions are. I'll start with the other question, and that was sovereign gold bond scheme 2021 or 22. Sovereign gold bonds, that means you'll be trading in gold here. What sort of trading will take place? They are bonds, gold bonds. Issue price is 4,777 per gram. See, when you buy gold, you obviously pay some making charge on that. No making charge will be there, as they are just bonds. You are, although trading in gold, the amount is almost the same. Issue price per gram will be 4,777. No making charges, can be there. Tenure time period is 8 years. Interest rate, that means every year you will be paid 2.5%. 2.5% will be the interest rate that you will be getting, when you trade in these bonds. Minimum investment will be 1 gram. That means 4,777 is going to be your minimum investment when you trade in gold bonds. And maximum you can spend till 4 kg when you are an individual. And if you wish to trade in gold bonds, sovereign gold bonds, then you can actually maximum you can invest up to 4 kilograms of gold. Let's move ahead. Mixed martial arts here. So first, Indian origin. The person who has received it is Arjun Bhullar. He has actually become first man of Indian origin who has become the world champion of mixed martial arts. Arjun Bhullar is basically, has the Indian origin, obviously he is Indo-Canadian. The name even suggests the same. First Indian origin mixed martial artist has become the world champion, Arjun Bhullar. He is the same fellow, came to Delhi, performed in Commonwealth Games. When the Commonwealth Games took place in Delhi, if you can recall, in 2010, he won gold there as well in freestyle wrestling too. That time we did not hear his name. Now we are learning it because he has done something exemplary here. He has become the first Indian origin MMA world champion, Arjun Bhullar. Let's move ahead. SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, they have proposed something. Some sort of framework has been proposed by SEBI. They want that gold exchanges should be established. Who's going to regulate these gold exchanges? SEBI is going to be the regulator of these gold exchanges. If you trade in gold, you will be getting something in return. Let's say if you actually invest money in stocks, you receive shares in return. But when you actually trade in gold, you will be getting something in return there too. So you will be receiving electronic gold receipts. Electronic gold receipts you will be receiving when you trade in gold. So I'm going to read the line for you again. SEBI proposes framework. Some sort of draft is given by SEBI to set up exchanges for gold trading in the form of EGR, electronic gold receipts. There's some sort of proposed EGR denominations also. Not in any denomination you can trade. 1 kg is the denomination, 100 grams is the denomination, 50 grams is the denomination, 5 grams and 10 grams based on conditions. I'm referring to these two based on conditions, but these are the denominations in which you can actually trade in these gold exchanges. Vault managers, here vault managers are going to be the important ranks. So they are going to register themselves as SEBI intermediaries only. Learn that carefully because the question is significant. Let's move ahead. India and UK adopt Roadmap 2030. Roadmap 2030, there was a virtual summit took place between India and UK, Boris Johnson and Narendra Modi. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of UK, and our Prime Minister, they took part in that virtual summit. Something important, took place in such a virtual summit. Roadmap 2030. See, ties are there. They are willing to, take it to some sort of strategic partnership level. So I'm saying India and UK to elevate their bilateral ties. That means elevate, they are going to increase their ties, bilateral ties to what? To comprehensive. Comprehensive overall sort of development will take place. To comprehensive strategic partnership. They are going to escalate, they are going to elevate their ties to comprehensive strategic partnership. Now, they have launched enhanced trade partnership. They have launched enhanced trade partnership there in that meet only. Trading partnership. They have signed one agreement there. The agreement was Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement. They have signed Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement. And I was talking about Boris Johnson. He is the Prime Minister of UK. Let's move ahead. India and European Union leaders meeting hosted by Portugal. India and European Union leaders meeting took place and it was hosted by Portugal, the first thing. Second, European Council's president, the name of the fellow is Charles Michel. So Charles Michel is from Belgium. He's a Belgian politician, Charles Michel. European Commission's president, the name of the lady is Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula von der Leyen, she is from Germany. And the number of nations which are the participating nations which are there in European Union, they are 27. Let's move ahead. CEO of newly constituted National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. They're called Bad Bank also. Earlier we knew them as only ARC, Asset Reconstruction Companies only. Now we are calling them National Asset Reconstruction Company. They are mainly written as NARC everywhere. So the CEO of this NARC is Padma Kumar M. Nair. SBI's Padma Kumar M. Nair has become the CEO of these bad banks. So bad banks, I'm referring to the banks which are actually going to provide some sort of solution to get their money back, like those loans which have become NPAs, non-performing assets. They need to get their money back. So how they are going to do it? These are the things which will help banks to get their money back. So Padma Kumar M. Nair, CEO of NARC. Let's move ahead. Indian Navy's operation for bringing oxygen and medical equipment to India. You've heard that we require such things, and Indian Navy is doing it. From other nations, they are actually getting oxygen and medical supplies to India. Operation Samudra Setu 2 is the name of their operation. Samudra Setu 2. Operation Samudra Setu is the operation of Indian Navy through which they are actually getting oxygen and medical supplies to India. Let's move ahead. Fourth, Har Ghar Jal State and Union Territory. It does not mean fourth numbers Har Ghar Jal. Har Ghar Jal is the name of the scheme, which means that they'll be providing water to every state or every part of the state or every part of the Union Territory. The first one was Goa. It was actually taught by me a few videos back. The second was Telangana. The third one was Andaman and Nicobar. The fourth union territory is Puducherry, which could be able to provide water to each household. Basically, that was the motive of Har Ghar Jal scheme. 100% tap water in rural areas was provided by these states or union territories. That is why their names are there on the screen. The name of the minister, that means Minister of Jal Shakti, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat is the fellow who is holding the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Here I am wrapping up. If you understood everything, you can press the like button. If you could not, you can switch to the Hindi video. Thanks for watching.